2 years on, and I am back at Jackson Lake here in Yellowstone National Park, Grand Tetons National Park. And my daughter went out on an early flight back to California, Monterey, from Jackson this morning, and I am on my way back to my field assignment station next to Heart Mountain outside of Cody, Wyoming. And I thought, I think I need to make a stop. So if you remember, I streamed live here 2 years ago in 2024, and I'm back because we're in a really amazing window astrologically. I'm sure some of you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, just Google it. And it lines up and aligns with everything I have been teaching, embodying, offering for the better part of the decade that I've been on YouTube. And that is aligning ourselves and alchemizing ourselves into a higher harmonic of love. So let's just take a moment. If you're able to join me live, that's awesome. If you're just catching the replay, great. We've got some early morning boaters that are about to head out. My team just told me nothing is a coincidence. Watch the ripples, right, that they create, because that's going to be what the topic is for this live. When we remember ourselves as a fractal of Source, Love, God, we claim the identity of home. We're not home, like getting home or arriving home. We literally become the instruction set of home. Source, Love, God, home. And when that ripples out, people feel it, right? Woohoo! Have fun. So watch as the boat goes by. And just take a moment to feel into your body's field. What does this ancestral body ripple out without any judgment? Gosh, that's gorgeous, isn't it? Because those ripples go far and wide, way beyond even the earth plane. They're multidimensional. The human being was designed as something really extraordinary, and we are in the process of restoring that and reclaiming it out of a state of disconnection, disharmony, distortion of the truth that the body forgot and had a lot of help forgetting. Won't get into all those exopolitics today, but you can imagine, right? You see what goes on the surface of the earth with structures around power and control and fear-mongering. So take a moment, because I, in the last 2 years since I was here last, have gone through a lot with this body and the ancestral survival adaptation that my ancestral body has of over-functioning for love, right? Again, the kidney event in Italy last fall in Perugia. Of course, combined with field work in Assisi and the whole region, you know. And so I'm in the same boat, we'll keep some puns going here, as everyone else, which is, yes, my multidimensional oversoul and beyond is here to help restore living creation and all of that architecture. And I'm in a human form with ancestral survival adaptations and traumas that say things like, no one will support you. You have to do this all yourself. Many healers and starseeds experienced a childhood on top of all that ancestral everything that we inherited and took on in the human body. And we knew we were going to take it on because we knew we could alchemize it and metabolize all of that fear, anger, shame, trauma back into source love. And we're right in that process right now. But I think we also underestimated what the journey would be like, and how, even though we trained for this, this isn't our first rodeo, each family line carries its own unique constellation of really difficult and challenging emotions. And so I just want everyone to take a moment to talk to your body right now. I'm going to do the same thing and see where it's at. Just not to judge it, but just to become very present with what is in the body in terms of old background patterns, thoughts of I feel like a forlorn feeling in a lot of people's fields. Like, that sounds so nice, but that feels so far away. Look at the state of the planet. How could we ever get there? And that's just it. Petals. My little kitty Petals fur travels with me everywhere. um, it's not about getting there. It's about remembering we are already there and we've always been loved. We just somehow got a bad game of telephone going where the truth got distorted. So really presence with your bodies now. Yeah, there we go. I always feel the register of a shift where there's this uptick where everyone's body kind of goes, who, me? Like, oh, right. Oh, that's possible. And so just, yeah, there you go. Yeah. The laughter comes naturally when the whole state just shifts. During this time of fail-safe ascension that we are fully in this sector of living creation, our human bodies are going through enormous amounts of playing catch-up, if you will, to say synchronized with the ascension process of the earth. And what am I talking about if you're new to this whole topic? It's simply the way that living creation was designed to, play slide like everyone, all the kids like to on the playground, like down Jacob's ladder, like up the Jacob's ladder and down the slide, right? Like the stairway of heaven, the ladder of creation. And then make our way back and remember. Except that distortions happened where we just got kind of cut off from coming back. So that's what we're reclaiming. And so now there's kind of like this fast moving ascension wave that we're in literally right now this week. Today's July 18th, 2026. But across a much larger span of time as well, where it's almost like surf's up, ride the wave, let your body catch that. And the way that your body catches that and makes use of it is by remembering that it was love all along. And they're celebrating and whooping it up back there. This is Mount Moran behind me, by the way, in Jackson Lake, if I didn't say that. And I see why I was guided back here, because look at how still water reflects things as they are. And ultimately what we're going to do right now is help the body come to the 0 point, the still point, the void. And from there, everything can kind of switch over, and your own greater plan and the greater plan that we're all in starts to come online. And the body is no longer the gatekeeper bracing, trying to protect itself from all the things I've talked about on this channel for years. It now is allowing itself to be carried. It's not through efforting in the same way that we think of like making things happen. It's a surrendering, it's a sitting back, it's centering, it's allowing. So just take a moment, drop into your heart center if you're up in your head. There we go. Take a nice deep breath. Let your shoulders drop, let your jaw relax, soften your gaze. Softening the gaze changes your brainwave state. And we're bringing the human form and its nervous system into a greater state of loving coherence by doing this. And then all you have to do is allow that, and you're in training with the greater plan, the greater flows that are moving through. I work a lot with source plasma flows, restoring so much here. And yet, at the end of the day, for all of us, it's always going to be about restoring and reclaiming the human body as source, as a fractal of source love, God. Not to be the same, but to be this unique, individuated, beautiful contribution in the way that you bring through source love. So if you love, like, they obviously love being out on the water on a boat. My jam is way more just like, I'll show you up in the woods here, right? On an earthen trail, smelling the pines and interacting with all my interdimensional friends. You'll remember I made the video here with the interdimensional Sasquatch 2 years ago. They sent 2 ravens out to greet me this time. They often do that. Yeah, I can feel the camaraderie there. Maybe you can feel all their love. And so we are working with our body now to bring it out of a state of being like the kinked off hose in this belief system that it inherited of I'm separate, back into now unity consciousness. And these bigger astrological shifts are right according to plan to bring us into this remembering of unity consciousness. Now, you can't make this up, folks. I was out yesterday in the sagebrush just for, like, I found some BLM land, Bureau of Land Management, some public land, drove my, SUV up and on a 2-track and came down the other side and just took a moment with the rising sun, and the falcon was there. And it's just this moment on this assignment in Heart Mountain, Wyoming. I mean, it can't be more clear that we're meant to shift from here back into the heart as the true center, out of separation, division, allowing our precious source, God, love, consciousness to be usurped by division and conflict. I know I've made a lot of PSAs about this over the years, but if there were a time to get really committed about dropping othering, judging, projecting, blaming, shaming, division, conflict, us and them, all of that nonsense, and to remember that we're all fractals of one source and that just other people are at different levels of remembering, so they'll be in a different expression and something probably a little more fearful or angry. But their world that they're in doesn't have to be ours. We don't have to be in that division, and we can claim unity. So I was really cultivating that for myself. And I get to the gas station, and what is the cashier's name that morning, yesterday morning? Unity. I looked at her name tag and I said, I'm sorry, is your name Unity? She said yes. The cashier on the drive here at a Love's travel stop, of course, his name was Harmony. The beautiful mirror dimension that we're in, you just can't make it up. So my team is saying, my greater self and like all of the support that we have is saying, have everyone just take a moment to look at the reflection of the mountain. As above, so below. And so here we are bringing heaven to earth by becoming home. Source, love, God, home. We are home. We are home, and we are emanating that. Now, the body is still remembering this. So I can hear a lot of your bodies kind of chattering in the background, like, what? Not me. I'm the exception. I'm the exclusion. Just know, bodies, every body on the planet has some of that still. You're not alone. You're not the exception. We're just dealing with thousands of years of regression and fear-mongering so that the human body forgot. There we go. I feel that shifting. So focus on that. And now, there we go. We did some powerful work in the global meditation in the Higher Love family on Thursday. I highly recommend everyone just join. It's $33 a month. And these global meditations we do every month will be in training more and more of this source love, embodiment and emanation, so that then the ripple that goes out, like we just saw, is something more loving and coherent. But here's the thing that I want to be very careful to not do, is to bypass anything that's coming up in the body. Because I can hear all the remnant little parts of people's bodies where there's shame, and it's almost like they don't even want to be seen or bring that into the light of greater awareness because of the shame. And if we don't really pay attention and feel those parts, recognize them, and gently and lovingly bring them into the spotlight of our awareness. They will remain on the outside of this process, and that is why so many gurus and teachers have remained very bifurcated in able to engender very evolved blissful states, transcendent states, myself included, and then the body with its own consciousness and its ancestral inheritance is still running a lot of dysregulation and creating, frankly, a lot of harm with its ripple of fear, anger, power struggles, you know. I know all of you understand what I'm talking about because your families of origin, many of you have been playing this out there, and frankly, all relationships. And so we can't bypass all the little kind of remnant self-exiled components to our body's consciousness. So just take a moment again to feel back in and talk to your body. You can feel it. You can feel all that churn, and then just bring more loving awareness. You'll hear your body say certain things. And here's what you can do, just like you would with a friend. Hey, I hear you, and I hear you're in a lot of pain with that belief or that thought that you just had and expressed. But what if that weren't true? What if there was another truth that could displace that? And that's the source love, home that we are, that starts to displace from within. And the body will yield once it trusts the process enough. And then the mirror dimension will continue to bring reflections of what triggers the body into a fear state still to work with. To say, aha, that's showing up out here in my reflection, right? Reflections don't lie, right? And then you can get really curious about why is that showing up and what part of me is being reflected to me. Not to like fix it or make it better or get it perfect. There is no such thing as perfection. But to see the pain that that's in and give that pain in your body the love it never got. The love that pain in your parents' bodies never got, and your grandparents, great-grandparents, all the way up the line, right? So this isn't some great perfection exercise. This is the great loving, the return to love. All parts being seen and loved, and gently being brought back into a redirect. In the same way that if a family member is going on and on about something negative, gently redirect into a different conversation topic. Now, kind of as we wrap up here, we all have free will choice. Everyone has free will choice. And so many people will continue to use their free will choice somewhat unconsciously, but not totally unconsciously. I can't really let everyone off the hook, right? When we're behaving badly, some part of us knows that we're projecting out in pain and causing more pain. So it's time for a completely next level of accountability. Like, let's cut the crap on the bypassing while we create all sorts of harm outside of that. And like, let's really lean in and do the shadow work to meet the shadow with love. See, when I do it, my body, I instantly just start laughing because everything comes into coherence and it just lightens into something completely different. And I don't mean to minimize the effort that this takes. On my drive past the Tetons this morning, The Philosopher's Stone by Van Morrison started playing. What a beautiful depiction of this process, turning lead into gold. That's what we're all really doing here. That's the much greater plan. It's just that we get diverted into dogma and distorted beliefs, and like you have to be really, really good to try to get into heaven. It's like, no. You are heaven on earth. It's just a distortion in the love. I see everything in geometry, so I mean, you can't make this up either. I was at the Overland store in Fairfield, Iowa, where my daughter went to boarding school in Maharishi. revisited on this trip back across the country, and then stopped in here in Jackson again. And, divine appointment with a guy who works there who is working on climate solutions and environment and all the codes and just getting validation from a third party that's so needed. And that's what so many of us often need are, you're not alone, but the human form it's in a belief system that it is alone and it's in separation. So I think you're going to be able to do the math here with me, is that as we bring our bodies out of that state of separation back into remembering that they are love, they're not a throwaway, they're not an illusion, we're not going to trash our bodies and talk about them like that. These incredible forms were designed to ascend and move through all the dimensional levels. They're not a throwaway. That is a big, long story. I won't even get into how we arrived here. The base code, the original design, is to be able to move these all up through all the different levels of heaven and find our way back out of individuation, back into the oneness. But these are early days, and so I just want to keep checking in with your bodies. Because I can tell some bodies are like, this is so far beyond where I am, where it's possible. And that deep sadness is the point. So that deep, a fish just jumped, see? Let's all jump. Let's do a timeline jump today. That deep sadness that comes up in your body, that's what I'm talking about. Like if you feel that in your heart center, love it. Give it the love it was never given. That's the assignment. The fish just jumped again. And it's creating these beautiful ripples. Maybe they'll make their way behind me. You can probably already see them. Amazing. Let me put my glasses on here and see. Ooh, it's all foggy. If anyone has left anything in the chat. Okay, I don't see anything in there, so I just wanted to be sure. Yeah, thanks for joining me here. Most of you will catch the replay, I think. It's really special to be able to do this, and I'm super, super grateful to get to live in alignment with my soul purpose as a multidimensional field agent here and champion of the world's healers. Hi from New York. Thanks for joining me live. Yeah, once again, just drop into your heart center. Meditate on this image of the reflection. We have another boat going by, so it'll bookend our session today to see the ripple. The shortcut way to do this is not to necessarily just focus on shadow, but when it arises, to not ignore it and try to bypass it and get away from it with all the usual ways that people bypass, right? From entertainment to substances to distractions of all kind, but to really lean in and love that. And then it's also to follow what brings us joy. Follow your excitement. Do the most authentic version of you. There we go. And then that ripple goes out, right? Instead of the program of like, oh, life is pain and then you die and you just have to work some crap job that you hate. Like bullshit, like total bullshit. We are in an amazing wave. Like ride the wave now, make the changes you want to make. This is an amazing week to claim that timeline for yourself. Amazing. And you have powerful free will choice, so you can stay in old stories and there's no judgment, or you can send out a new ripple. I'm really curious to hear, please leave a comment after watching this. What are you willing to claim in the direction of your joy? I have claimed it. I'm at Heart Mountain in Wyoming for the better part of the next 2 months. And then I'm moving on to my next assignment. And, no one runs my schedule. I get to run my own schedule. Now I am listening to higher directives and collaborating with all of my interdimensional friends and with the much greater plan of Source, Love, God, bringing all of its fractals home to remembering themselves as Source, Love, God, right? So yes, I am technically working for a plan, but not in the conventional crappy sense, right? And I can't tell you how good it feels. It feels so liberating. So if not you, who? And if not now, when? You totally have got this. Yeah, again, leave me a comment. Build the excitement. What are you willing to claim? Look at that beautiful boat going by. 2 years ago, I couldn't have fathomed all of the places I would have lived. I had come from North Carolina, Oklahoma, back to Idaho, did all the field work here in Yellowstone and the Tetons, and then went on to Colorado, did a bunch of work there, a couple of trips to France in there, Egypt, Italy, right? And then Mammoth Cave, did all that field work earlier this year in Kentucky, then on to West Virginia and the Blue Ridge, massive regional field work, and then just returning via Iowa back through Wyoming and did a huge body of work. You probably saw the Cathar Grid Healing article I put out and story in the Bighorn Mountains. Yeah, I'm getting all lit up just talking about it. And so who knows, like, I think there are some really beautiful surprises. The conversation with the gentleman in the Overland store was one of these. A lot of us, shout out to Aria, shout out to Wendy. A lot of us are starting to converge. And that was a video I made in front of the Grand Tetons here 2 years ago now, that collaborations are on the rise. It's time to come out of our silos and start to put unity together with shadow work as a lifestyle, right? There's been a lot of bypass and a lot of gunk that's all getting disclosed in spiritual circles, and all circles, frankly, but circles where people identify as spiritual, we're discovering may just be another sneaky bypass. And so we're circling the wagons on all of that, cleaning that up, so that now when we come together, we have a much cleaner foundation. And it's not built on wounded motivation and blind spots in our shadow. It's built on full 100% accountability. Yeah. Not performative accountability either. That can be sneaky. So, yeah, I invite you all into this next octave with me. I'm going to take my field and shift it if you'd like to move up in a higher harmonic from your heart center, helping your body remember that it was always source love. And the clouds look like 2 giant wings, I'm realizing. Amazing. There we go. Yeah, there we go. And there's parts of the body that feel like, oh, I'm not part of that. I don't deserve that. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. There we go. Just come along for the ride, just for fun, just to see what it's like. Awesome. There we go. And not too far. We don't want to like skyrocket the body and blow its circuits either. Just where the body feels like it can go. I have a video coming out that I recorded that's very special tomorrow. It was at the very end of my field work in West Virginia, and I had wrapped up all of that work, and this is the exact work I do for a lot of different interdimensional beings across multiple dimensional levels when I go do regional field work like this. And then whoever wanted to, they were staged and ready for when the time came to put out this huge ripple that created a wave for them to ride. Yeah, I'm kidding. Woo. I'll bet some of you can feel that. And it was right after that I was guided into this mystical forest to record this transmission for you that comes out tomorrow. So work with that. It'll help you see where your body's most comfortable and at what level. Faster, higher is not always better for the body. Remember, we have to go at the body's pace and gently redirect it so it doesn't just keep leading from fear. So, yeah, I'm laughing because I'm like, ooh, some days that's a process, right? Stay very well rested during this time. Stay very well hydrated and nourished not only physically, but emotionally. Curate the content you consume, from media to people you spend time around. Allow yourself that space. And then I'm just waiting to see if there's anything else that wants to come through. Just joy. Just joy. A lot of joy wants to come through. I am so, so grateful to get to be here doing this with all of you. What an amazing privilege and pleasure. I was joking with my mom that we're all gonna get the t-shirt. I was on Earth for fail-safe ascension. Earth has a very special role in this type of ascension. There's the kingfisher. That's my dad. Awesome. Thanks, Dad. Yeah, do you feel that? There's so much celebration and so much encouragement for all of us who took on this assignment here to take on all of this fear, shame, anger, sadness, grief, trauma, and alchemize it. Yeah, truly alchemizing it. There we go. Beautiful. Wow. Oh, I love you all so much. Hey, Scott. Nice to see you from New Mexico. I love you all so much. And I hope you remember that you are loved today and that you are home itself. And you can emanate that out. Enjoy the magic that results from that. And lots of love and compassion and patience for the body. There we go. Just doing that attenuation, I felt resistance from the body, like kind of almost it's pulling back, just soften. Because, yeah, your body doesn't want to be dragged along for a ride. It wants to be consulted and checked in with. We all know what it's like to be in the backseat of a car where someone's driving all over the place and not telling us where they go, and you just, you can feel, it can feel tumultuous. So just back to the body and really checking in on what it needs. Beautiful. All right, well, I'm gonna make my way through the rest of the park today and take a little stroll here in the woods. I love you all so much. And again, look for that video tomorrow. It'll come out on my YouTube channel. It goes out first in my email list. If you're not on the list, you can go join the mailing list on my website. It's at the bottom of the page. And again, a heartfelt invite to join us in the Higher Love family. We've been working together for over 2 years now, and these monthly global meditations that we do to help restore, it's really balance and harmony in our own bodies first, and then for Earth and humanity are really, and actually beyond, are really exceptional. And all that's on the website. All right, my friends, be sure and share with me, what are you claiming for yourselves this week going forward? I love you. Bye for now. Let me see.